praise for my guest who is here in the studio. It's great to have him here back with us once again, the one and only Peter Criss. Peter, thank you so much for coming in.
Ed, come on, look it.
It's always great to see you.
No, it's an honor to be here with you. You know, you're my favorite guy. You know, you're my favorite DJ.
Look, you're making me blush.
Man, I'm blushing, and I wanted to do this with you because I've been offered, asked, whatever you want to say, to go on a lot of stations. And you're the man.
Well, I appreciate
and it's an honor to be here. I mean that.
I appreciate that very much. I guess the last time we hung out was in Vegas.
Yes, it was.
Like a year or so ago.
That's right.
We had a great time, actually, after the show at the Palms.
Mm-hmm. No one believed it was me, but it was me up there. I seem to have that problem a lot, right?
There was some confusion. I guess that's a trend that's the last few years.
I'm worried about that.
Well, you know, there's so many people that want to talk to you, and before we even go any further, I want to also, you know, everybody knows you were supposed to be here a few weeks ago, and I want to, you know, express my condolences on the passing of your friend.
Thank you so much.
And I know that that's a tough thing for you, but I appreciate you coming back, and I know the fans are very excited to hear from you. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot said. There's been a lot said that some feel is truthful and not truthful, and I guess the first obvious question has to be, you know, what happened and why aren't you in KISS?
Wow, the big one immediately.
Let's get it right off the tip. Let's get right to it, Peter.
Where do I start here?
Do me a favor, though. Get right up on that microphone, please, and pull it a little closer to you if you can.
What do you got? You mean why I'm not with them now?
Yeah, what happened? What went down? I mean, you know, because we've heard things from them and from their camp as to, you know, what allegedly they feel is the reason why you're not in the band. What you're a guy that I think the fans and I know that I always appreciated. You get it straight. You come straight from the heart and you come truthful. So what went on? Why? I mean, KISS is out touring. They're going out this summer. Mm-hmm. You did the last tour with Aerosmith last time around.
Yep.
And suddenly it's no more Peter Criss.
Finished the tour. Go home. The holidays came. We actually finished the last show on my birthday, December 20th, which was really a gas. It was a great way to finish a tour, especially with the great Aerosmith. I was really honored to be on a stage with such Hall of Famers. Man, talk about greatness. It was really cool. But the tour ended, to get back to it, and I got home. Time went on. My attorney tried to reach them. No one got back to him. The word I'm hearing on the street that people keep they were trying to get in touch with me. Well, they had my phone number. It seemed like the phone never rang. I was kind of hoping it would. It didn't ring. Time went by again. All of a sudden, the day finally came where the contract ran out. Well, there was now no more contract, no extension, no less, maybe anything, nothing. And so I posted on my site what I posted on my site, which right now, I guess I can't remember word for word verbatim, but it was kind of, you know, no one called me, no one got in touch with me, and I was sure, get right to it. I got a call from Paul the following day after I posted what I had to post on my site because I was flooded by a ton of people. And how you doing? And it got to be that they wanted to start a new KISS. And I'm like, well, what do you mean new KISS? And, well, there's a new KISS. And it really got down that he almost said I was too old to cut it. I couldn't play 2 hours anymore. They felt that their camp wanted some younger blood, that they wanted to do new stuff. Between you and me, a bunch of bunk. I didn't buy it for one instant. I'm listening to this, that I'm too old. I can't play this anymore. I was complaining. If I complained about anything, I complain about a lot of things, and I have a reason to complain about anything I complain about. You know me too well. I don't just complain about everything. But the idea, the audacity to tell me that I, a founding member of a band that would not be here today, there is no old KISS. There's only one KISS, and that's Peter, Paul, Ace, and Gene. Mm-hmm. There is nobody else that could ever replace us. Well, BS. I don't take nothing away from those two guys. They are the men. They are the guys. But so is Ace and I, and we're just as important to the party. To be told I can't cut it is an insult to me and my fans, meaning my KISS fans, the KISS fans, who have made my life the best life I've ever had on the planet. I always say to the guys, if not for you guys, I wouldn't have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful life. But his attitude was pompous. We're going to do new stuff. We're going to do 2 hours. You don't want to play 2 hours. You didn't seem like you really wanted to stay on the tour anyway. And I mentioned, you know what? I really wasn't happy 100% of the tour because Ace wasn't there. To be really honest with you, to me, without Ace, it just wasn't KISS as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't the KISS that I helped make KISS today.
And I remember, and not to cut you off, but in fairness to you, I know that's true because the last time I saw Kiss play, I didn't see you guys on any of the shows with the Aerosmith tour. The last time I saw you play was that show at the Palms in Vegas when you had just come back from Japan and did that show. And first of all, as far as your playing is concerned, and I told you this that night, and I stand behind it 100%, it was the best I have ever seen you play. And my first concert was Kiss in 77. Absolutely. So that's how far back I go.
I know you do, Ed.
And it was the best. And if you remember, we were sitting around the table at the after show, and I was going, "Oh, Peter, what did you do?"
I know.
It was amazing how well you played. And I do remember the other thing that you said more than on one occasion that night, even when you were still in the band, is, "I miss Ace. It's not the same. The magic wasn't there."
Exactly. Look, it was tough for me. I said to Paulie, "Look, I missed Ace. It wasn't the same." And his reply was, "Well, that's the old Kiss." Well, you know something, man? If there was no old Kiss, there would be no new Kiss. What is the new Kiss? The Kiss of the 20th century was Ace, Peter, Paul, and Gene. So now the Kiss of the 21st century is Paul, Gene, Eric, and Tommy. Still wearing the makeup, still playing the same songs, only maybe they're not playing exactly the same songs that we kind of played when we were together, so they're playing maybe some songs we didn't do. That makes it different. That's a new Kiss. I don't buy it. And I don't, and I'm hurt, actually, and I'm here for the very reason that the fans, are just getting ripped off, man. It's breaking my heart. I can't, if you go, okay, be the new Kiss. I'll take that. Take the makeup off. Put new songs out there, put a whole brand new show up, put new lights, new sound, new bombs, whole new vibe, brand new look. I buy that. I'll take Eric, Tommy, Gene, and Paul for the brand new Kiss. But it ain't the new Kiss, man. And that's what galls me. It's still the same old Kiss that I was told on the phone, we ain't the old Kiss anymore. Well, then what are you? Paul is like, well, we showed Peter the door. Gene is, well, we kept trying to get in touch with Peter. I wish the two of them would get together in a room and talk, since I know they don't talk to each other anymore and has not spoken to one another for quite a while. They don't talk. They don't feel like they want to talk to each other. This is a very true fact. For Gene to say about me that I had to ice my, elbows, which is terrific, my hands terrific. I had a pinched nerve to start that tour out with a trainer they hired to get me in shape. Guy worked me hard. Nothing against the guy. I like to work hard. I like to train hard. I like to play hard. I pinched a nerve in the back of my neck right off the tour. Pain in the damn ass. I didn't like it. They didn't like it, but I didn't like it. I mean, I really didn't like it because I was the guy in pain. Got a doctor, had an epidural in my spine so I could get up there every night and kick ass on that tour. Days off. Gene was complaining I'm in my room icing myself down. Well, what am I supposed to do? I have a pinched nerve. The doctor tells me you got a day off. Take it easy. Put some ice on your thing. You know what? Guys in sports, guys that play football, guys that play baseball, take a day off and put their hands in ice, put their necks in ice, put their legs in ice. I play drums. It's a physical instrument. It takes a lot of endurance. I'm 58. I'm not a kid anymore. So it takes a little more. It's called pacing. So I figure you got a day off, get a little room service, get a movie to my room, put a little ice on my neck, go out tomorrow night, kick ass. What I did on my day, I didn't even care what Gene did on his days off. And for a matter of fact, Gene didn't even fly with us. Gene didn't travel with us. Gene stayed in separate hotels. To say that I needed to do all this and that, and so they let me go because I complained. I complained for a lot of facts that I had to, when we would drive together, I had to sit in the car alone with my wife because they wouldn't ride with me, or they'd let Gene sit with me because Paul and Gene didn't talk to each other. So I'm in a car, and Tommy Thayer and Doc McGee and Paul Stanley and Paco and all the other guys are together are in their car, and I'm privy to nothing. I'm a founding member of this band. I found Kiss as much as Gene and Paul and Ace did, and I love them all, but I found this band as much as they did. To be so disrespected, okay, so put another guy up there in my makeup is disrespectful. Take the damn makeup off and be who you are and quit using us. If you are the new Kiss, then be the new Kiss. Get off the old track and be the new Kiss. To tell the fans that is wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm here to put that straight tonight. I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm not old. I'm in the best condition I've probably ever been in my whole life. They didn't even sit and have the respect to have a meeting with me or my attorney to sit and let's talk about it. There's a time that we sat together back in the day when we were really a band, the band, ate the same crap, shared rooms, Holiday Inns, died out here blue black in a bathtub, walked through Greenwich Village, got hit with eggs and bombs, never got any airplay, never got anything great. We were like the worst band considered in the world, but we hung in tough. We went through it, that, and we hung tight, and we became whatever we became today. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it tarnished. And it breaks my heart to see it the way it's going.
I can see that, Peter, and obviously this being radio, the people don't have the benefit of the visual here, but I can see that because I can see just looking at you that it does affect you tremendously, and it hurts what's gone on now with the band.
Yes, it does.
But when you told those stories just a few seconds ago about talking about walking the streets and dyeing your hair and you lit up. So there's always that side to it too.
Absolutely.
Where it's. But the thing is, here's what I think, and here's what I agree with you 100% on, and I have a clear conscience on this because I've said this to Paul when he was on this show, and that is the fact that I believe that Gene and Paul, having obviously everybody knows, well, maybe not everybody. It amazes me because Kiss fans are so loyal, but they're also sometimes taken advantage of for their loyalty.
Yeah,
They don't understand that it's a business. And when you talk about contracts, and Ace talks about contracts when he's been on this show, they don't understand that you guys are essentially employees. You have to be made a contract, and when the contract's up, just like an athlete, you don't work for the team anymore unless there's a new contract.
It turned out that way, yeah.
And that's the way it is. So that being said, they have, I feel, every right to go perform whatever songs they want with whoever they want. But the thing that bothers me as a lifelong Kiss fan is like you said, either take the makeup off or give new members their own identities. Because for anything else, it's not about being new, it's about being deceptive.
Very true.
The idea is that they want Kiss knows, and they know that the hardcore fan is going to buy everything and anything they do with whoever's in it.
Absolutely.
And they know there's that percentage, and they're not catering to that percentage because they know that percentage will be there no matter what they do. The idea is to get the casual fan, the fan that only knows Rock and Roll Night or Beth or whatever the 3 or 4 big songs are, and when they go to that show, they see the image of Peter Criss. They see the image of Ace Frehley. And this is nothing against, I know Tommy very well, know Eric very well. This is nothing against them and their playing or their performing.
I'm with you.
It's a case where they want the average schmo that doesn't know Kiss's business inside out, that's there, to think they walked away seeing the original guys. And I'll tell you a quick story.
Very true, Ed.
And we're talking live with Peter Criss, but this is a true story. Again, back to the Vegas thing. That was a case. Now, you have both perspectives of this because you played in the band. They did a tour with someone subbing for Ace. They did a tour with someone subbing for you, and now they're subbing both of you out.
Seem to do that a lot, don't they? But they put a lot of guys in places in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But
the show that I saw with you guys in Vegas, which is the last Kiss show that I saw, was you, Gene, Paul, and Tommy.
And it was a great show.
It was a great show. But here's the thing. The next day, I'm with my wife, and we're out by the pool, and we're hanging out. And some kids sit down next to us in a lounge chair, and they're wearing shirts from the night before. So they're talking about the show. And the kid says to me, he said, "Did you see the show last night?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, was it?" I mean, I was like this close to Ace Frehley. And I go, "No, you weren't." And he said, he got mad with me. He's like, "Dude, what are you talking about? I mean, I was at the show. Ace was right there." I go, "It wasn't Ace." Yeah, it was. And we had this argument, and I wasn't going to fight him on it.
Amazing.
But that's the fan that they want. That thinks that they walked away seeing the original band because the hardcore fans, they know, are going to buy it no matter who's in it.
Yeah.
I maintain a theory that there will be one day a Kiss without Gene or Paul. I believe that will happen one day, that they'll oversee it and have people actually do their parts, and it'll be like Menudo was or something, It's just like they'll farm people out, and they'll be like the Svengalis behind.
You're killing me. But you know what? You're probably spot on.
Yeah.
You're probably spot on. Money's money.
Now, let me ask you this, and we're talking with Peter Criss again. Tell me, you've been through this mill now with Kiss for a while, since the whole reunion tour. The reunion was wonderful. It was huge. God, yeah. It was everything everybody wanted. Tell me where you saw things start to kind of turn and change. You went reunion, you went Psycho Circus, you went the quote-unquote farewell tour, and then whatever's gone on since. I mean, how did it go again from everybody being so happy and being so huge and being so wonderful to having spiraled so quickly down again?
I know. It got back to the controlling issue. Controlling issue is a big thing for Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, always has been. Love to control everything. And like I said, if I had a day off, and I took that day off to rent a movie, have a little room service, take a little rest, make sure I'm ready to kick ass next night, it's my business. If one guy wants to go to a strip joint, that's his business. I don't really care. One guy wants to go out dinner, fine. One guy wants to go shopping, terrific. I lost train of thought now. So
where did it all kind of spiral? You said control.
So we had no problems with that on the reunion. Anybody could do whatever they wanted on days off. Everybody was happy. I was so happy to be back. It was such a great thing to get a second chance, I felt, in life, because that's what it was to me. A great second chance to maybe fix what was broken when we first dispersed it, when we first kind of went our own way. When I left, Ace left. It was not the best way I feel a band of our caliber and our legacy should ever go. We should have never left on such... It happens. We know we're in a crazy business. Bands break up. Bands want to go their own way.
Right.
I was hoping, in fantasy, hoping that it all would be so great, because I had this always great, like maybe I'm delusional, but I was hoping that we'd really all get back. It would be all like we're brothers again. We're all sharing again. We're all going to be great. The minute the reunion was over and it got to Psycho Circus, it all changed again. It all got, well, now here comes an album. I was really excited. I was like, wow, we're going to finally do a studio album together as a band. And I think the fans felt the same way. Wow, Kiss is going to finally do a studio album, great studio album. The album came, Bruce Fairbairn, rest his soul, great guy. All of a sudden they're like, it's all up to Bruce. Anything that comes in, any kind of material is up to Bruce. Well, I wrote a lot of pretty good stuff. Brought it in, wasn't good enough. So you're going to sing this ballad Paul wrote. It got right back. We were going right back to that thing again. I control. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. We'll pay you for the record, and we'll say you played on it, but we don't want you to tell the world you didn't play on it. We want you to tell the world you played on it.
Which is something that's gone on with them since Destroyer.
I couldn't live with that. I got to look in the mirror every day, and I sure wasn't going to let my fans think I'm playing on something I'm not on.
Mm-hmm.
I won't do that. So that started it. And as far as Ace was like, if Ace didn't get anything on the album, he was, again, like, I'm out of here. So he got one song, and he made sure I sang. Need some water.
Yeah, actually, Ace has told me that the only song on Psycho Circus that it's actually the original four members doing what they do is on his song on that album, Into the Void.
Right.
That's the only song. You're on drums, and everybody's doing their respective thing.
Which was great. It was like, that was about the only moment for a minute there. It felt, wow, like the old days again. Here we were back in the room. But my songs got rejected. It hurt. It really bothered me. It was like, well, let's work on it maybe like we did with Ezra. Nothing got rejected with Bobby. Everything we did as a team. We did as a group. That's why I think Destroyer was so huge. I think it was the best album we ever did because we were a band when we did it. When this came along, and it seemed like we were even more powerful than we ever been, these two guys, again, to me, and as far as I feel, they took over. It was another controlling issue. We're going to control the issue. You're going to do what we tell you to do. You're going to play what we want you to play. We don't want, we're going to put our songs on it. As far as I was concerned, that album was trash. I don't think it was the best thing they ever did because I had nothing to do with it. Then we had to go out and perform that album. I was against it, right? Again, from the bat, here came more turmoil because I wasn't on it. I had to learn these songs, whoever else played on it. And it was kind of like I was a side man. I felt like in the beginning of the reunion, I was Peter Criss, the Catman. By the time Psycho Circus started again, I was Peter Criss, the sideman. Ace was Ace Frehley, the sideman. By the time we got even lucky enough to get the farewell, it was a nightmare. It wasn't going well.
So it really all started. The album was the first thing where the cracks first started to show, and then of course there was the tour for the album, and then there was, and I would imagine those cracks continued to intensify during the tour.
Of course. And
then you have what is quote-unquote the farewell tour, which is where a lot of Kiss fans thought it really should have ended because Paul's line throughout that whole tour when people asked him why it was a farewell tour was, well, we want to end it before it would become an embarrassment and before it's driven into the ground and people say, why don't you stop already?
He's right on. He was spot on.
So why do you think, Peter, that Kiss continues to tour? I mean, you even said tonight, just a few minutes ago, Gene and Paul don't even talk anymore amongst themselves.
Right.
What do you? I mean, why do you think they continue to do it? Is it just simply money?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I really believe that. I mean, flat out. Why not? If it wasn't about the money, if it was for the fans, for Kiss fans, then Ace and I would be up there. We'd be playing right now because that's what it was all about with the reunion. Let's get back together. Let's show the world really who was who at one time. Let's show the people who never seen us, who really should see what it's all about. By then, guys had kids. They had their own families. They wanted to bring them to the show. We were so excited about all this. It was like, wow, here comes Kiss 1996. We were all so high on that idea. And, of course, yeah, the minute the Benjamins come into scene, the minute the jets and the money and the big mansions in Beverly Hills and the yada, 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 I see, to me, the cancer, I call it. I don't pray to money. I pray to God. I love people. You know me. I don't get up and have to think about how could I make another buck. They got a lot of money, these guys, but yet, you're right. It should have definitely ended on the farewell. I would have been happy to walk away with my head held high and said, man, we did the best we did. We left with our heads head high. We did the Garden, sold out 4 nights. You know, we did Tiger Stadium. We did all this greatness, and at least we left with class, and we left with pride. I felt, you know, to me, it's a cover band. It's not Kiss. You know, it's really just not. You got, you know, nothing like you said. I think Eric's a great guy. He's a good drummer. But as far as Tommy goes, I see a guy who used to order my food for after my concert to what I want to eat when I'm done playing, who, as far as I'm concerned, paid no dues, paid nothing compared to what we paid throughout our career, as far as what Ace and I and Gene and Paul went through with the ridicule and the no airplay, and you know, got thrown off the shows and eventually almost got thrown off the label. You know, I mean, no one liked us back in the day. We really paid our dues to who we were today and who we are today. This guy is now my road manager, ordering my plate of spaghetti after a concert. Next minute, I'm looking over and he's wearing literally Icons boots. You know, it ain't Ace. And I'm looking over every night, looking at this guy waving a guitar around, playing Ace's leads, Ace's licks, acting like Ace, becoming Ace, being Ace. You know, be careful what you wish for. You might get it. He always wanted to be him. Well, now he's him. I couldn't buy this is the official guitarist. Ace put more blood, sweat, and tears into this band than anybody else will because he's an original member, founding member of Kiss, and so am I. If anybody has a right to knock him, we do. I do. But to go up there with a road manager... Yeah, I think it's degrading. I think it's even wrong. The fans shouldn't even deserve that. To go backstage with an album that I recorded on that made famous and get a Tommy Thayer autograph and an Eric Singer autograph over a Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley album is wrong. It's downright wrong. And to pay money to go back and take a picture with 2 imposters and 2 originals is wrong. And I don't care what I get for this or what comes back at me. I'm talking from my heart. It's just not right for my fans. Maybe I'm the only voice coming out for them saying this. I know they feel the same way because, you know, they're paying all their hard-earned bucks for guys who got a lot of money.
A lot of hard-earned bucks.
Yeah, you know, and I agree with you. You know, the plug should have been pulled on the reunion. I remember Doc McGee telling me when I first met him, I will not handle this band unless it's Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, in makeup, in boots, in full makeup, full war paint. He's still handling the band. The band now has 2 imposters, 2 originals, and they're still playing. Why? You know, it's so simple. What would be the reason? It must be money. I can't even think of any other reason.
Yeah, and you know,
unless they're crazy, they just keep they're going to die up there of old age playing guitars. It's sad. It breaks my heart, really. Even tonight coming here, I was uptight about this all week. Yeah, I did lose a close friend. Thank you for saying that. I'm still not over it. But I couldn't sleep knowing that, you know, like, I'm still living. I'm still healthy. Ace is still living. Ace is still healthy. We helped build the biggest empire, greatest group in the rock and roll history legend. No matter whatever may be said about us, we'll go down in history. But Jesus Christ, let's go down in class. Let's go down with some dignity. I feel they're just dragging the group down, you know, to just a level that they don't need to go. They're too big for that, Gene is, and so is Paul. I think they are.
And in your opinion, it's all driven purely by greed at this point. You think it's just simply money that's
It's not that I think.
You know.
I know. It has to be.
Right,
I mean, I'm not the greatest detective in the world,
Right.
and I do love detectives, and I like detective shows, but if I had to figure this out, A to Z, well, I'm going, okay, they got two other guys up
You
there.
don't need to be Columbo.
Thank you. So, although I wouldn't mind, I happen to like them. But it's a sore situation, but it's not a fair situation.
Right.
And so someone had to come into your station and stick up for himself and stick up for the fact of maybe sticking up for a band that I helped make really famous today.
Well, there's some other things that we of course, want to get into, and take a look at this. This is my phone lines, and every one of these things is jammed and locked up and has been because people, of course, want to say hello to you.
I love it.
So we want to let some folks get on and say hi as well.
Absolutely.
But, of course, this speaking of money and business, we have to do some commercials.
We got to make it. Look,
otherwise, my baby don't eat, and I don't have a lot of money.
Hey, look, you got to make it, and I don't knock it, Ed. I'm not knocking money. Money's great, but if that's what drives you, then I'm not in the park. I don't want to be at the party.
You know what, Peter? You know what I say? Of course, everybody wants a certain level of wealth and comfort and things like that, but I know so many people that have a lot of money, and they're miserable.
So do I.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, we might be talking about them.
Well, maybe some not. But you know what I'm saying? There's more to it. And family and health and well-being. I mean, that's if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's do these, get these commercials out of the way, and we'll come right back, and we'll talk some more with Peter Criss, who's been nice enough to join us here in the studio, and we'll get you guys involved as well. I would give out the number, but there's no point in doing it because the lines are all jammed right now. But if you want to keep trying, toll-free, 888-872-1043, or if you're on HMA.
1043. More Friday Night Rocks next.
The Harley Days of May on Q1043 is brought to you by AutoZone. For the best parts and the best prices, get in the zone. AutoZone.
This is Q1043's Friday Night Rocks with Eddie Trunk.
All right, we will continue with Peter Criss, who is with us here in the studio. We're back, Jim? We're good. Okay, we're back with the network as well. It's Eddie Trunk. Peter Criss is still here, and I know a lot of you guys are jamming up the phones, and we'll get your calls in. But let's do one more classic that Peter tells me is a favorite of Lenny Kravitz's. We'll talk about that after you check it out. Hooligan from Love Gun. From 1977, the Kiss album Love Gun and Hooligan, featuring the vocals and drumming, of course, the great Peter Criss, who is here with us in the studio hanging out for a little bit. And, well, we covered a lot already, didn't we?
Oh, man, when I get going, forget it. Again, you can't stop me.
Well, I'm the same way.
I have a passion for Kiss.
Absolutely. You said a funny story when the commercials were playing that Hooligan was a favorite of Lenny Kravitz's.
Yes.
Now, Lenny's a big Kiss fan. We all know that.
Yes.
And he actually, came at you wanting you to play that on one of the Kiss tours recently.
He did. He came down to see us. He came down twice. He didn't actually get to meet me the first time he came down, I found out. And he's like, I got to meet Peter. And then finally, when I came out of the room in makeup, he's standing there, and I'm like, wow, there's Lenny Kravitz. There's Lenny Kravitz. How cool. Because I still get starstruck myself. You know me.
But that's hysterical.
I don't look at myself like, I don't. I really don't.
You're starstruck over meeting Lenny Kravitz, and he's sitting there meeting you in full makeup.
I know.
He must have been it must have been the battle of starstruck.
Oh, man, we hugged each other we couldn't stop hugging each other. He's so lovable, the guy. I never met such a sweetheart. And he's like, you're going to do Hooligan, man. It's one of my favorite songs. I said, no, we don't do that in the show. He goes, man, too bad. So, I'm writing a tune now, and I'm going to probably send it to him, and maybe Lenny will do it, and maybe we'll get a chance to play it.
I've always liked his stuff. I've always loved his records. I went to see him last summer play, and he was great. I saw him at the Arts Center, and
he's a sweetheart.
And he was really good. So, that's very cool. We should go to the phones, but a few other things I want to hit on before we do that. First of all, we've covered your feelings about Kiss and everything that's going on.
That was really quick.
I mean, well, we had to get right into it. I mean, that's
why I came down tonight. Absolutely.
But really, now what are you doing? I mean, this is obviously behind you, and after tonight, I know you want to put it to rest. You said your piece. You want to move forward. What's the future hold for you? What do you want to do musically or otherwise?
I started a CD before the tour started with Aerosmith. I did a few tracks, didn't finish them. I'm going to go back and finish them. I'm doing a love ballad type album, just all love songs. I want a crew. I want to be Frank. I want to do Frank Sinatra. I want to do love songs. And I always had a passion for swing. I love my jazz, so I'll probably do a swing album. Still acting. Anybody out there want me on any new shows? I'm still working on my acting, working on my autobiography, getting closer and closer to finishing it.
That should be a hell of a new chapter written in that one, man.
Yeah, and I'm working on a book, a child's book, and I'm excited about that. And I'm working with an Emmy-winning man named Charles Kipps on some really exciting stuff. Who does a lot of Bill Cosby stuff. And I got a big surprise coming out this summer in June. So things are going great.
And people can always keep track of you on your website as well, too, right?
PeterCriss.net. And I can't wait to get this album done and get it out there, and because there's a lot of love in it and there's a lot of feeling in it, and I know my fans love that. Here.
And we can't say the S word, but
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's what the delay's for, so we're fine.
Thank you.
A couple things. I heard something about Peter Criss Days. Tell me a little bit about that. What are Peter Criss Days?
We did a thing about around 3 years ago, 1 year ago, and my wife was saying, I think the fans have been, they want to see you, they want to get near you, they love you, and we should do a thing, not necessarily a convention type thing, but like a day with me, just to talk to me. Rap to me, sit around, let's have a good time, let's have a sandwich together, have a bowl of pasta. And we did it, and it was so good. It went over so well. I had such a great time with the kids, with the fans, and it was such a great response that I never thought I'd say never, but I'm going to do it again. I got to do a couple more of them. I think it was I got so closer to them, and as they got closer to me, the questions that I gave them, I didn't think they wanted to know that, but it was so personable that it actually turned me on to more wanting my site to be a personable thing. That, I get stuff on my site, I swear, that like, my dog died, what do I do? My mom has cancer, what did you do when your mom had cancer? I mean, I never ever got so closer than I am now to the fans, and I'm not going to lose it. I don't want to go away from it. I'm not retiring. I'm not going to get in the box and say this is it.
You've just turned into the answer man.
Yeah, I just want to do art. I just want to play my drums, sing my heart out, and do what I do best, and that's music, and that's who Peter Criss is.
Remember those old days? Shell used to have those pamphlets and the Shell answer booklets. There was a pamphlet for every question.
No.
On the road. You're now that person.
No,
Peter, my plant, it's just turning brown. What do I do?
Scared. I have to get a TV show.
Exactly.
And do the Amazing Kreskin.
Or a radio show. Maybe you get your
deal. I'll join you, man.
Absolutely.
I'll come up with you.
Hey, a few years ago, Steven Van Zandt was on this show.
Oh, how cool.
And we hung out, and Steven's great, and we just had this great bonding experience.
Oh,
and
that's great.
He loved doing this, and then the next thing you know, he's got his own radio show. He's doing great with it.
Isn't that cool?
I saw him about 6 months ago. Last time I saw him, I said, look at you. You come on my show. Now you got this show. You're on 10 times more stations than I. All these big stations.
Did he thank you?
And I said, and he just comes on and he goes, you inspired me. He's hugging me. You inspired. I said,
that's so great.
Oh, it's nice to see.
Life is good.
Oh, God, good, amazing. And the tour with Aerosmith is obviously going to be what will be your final tour with Kiss. And although that was tumultuous at the time, you being in Kiss, you mentioned it was a big kick for you to be out there playing with Aerosmith.
Those guys, are great. I mean, to me, they're Hall of Famers. Talk about comebacks, making it bigger. Being around them was a rush. Just, we all came up from the same school.
Sure.
Steven's a sweetheart. I got to love Brad. Me and Brad got really close. I just thought he was a little sweetheart. All of the guys were great. The backstage was always a buzz. We were always playing jokes on each other. Always kind of they'd walk into our dressing room in the middle of the makeup. All of a sudden, no one walks to the Kiss store. No one ever walks to the Santa Claus thing. There's a big Santa Claus we keep on our door. Joe Perry would come bopping in. Steven would come in. You got any makeup? How do you put that stuff on your face? How the hell could you walk in those boots? So sure enough, one night, Joe wanted to play with us, wanted to do Strutter.
I saw a picture of that.
He got into Paul's boots, and he came up, and we probably did Strutter the best we ever did Strutter, because he's such a great guitar player. But I figured, you know what, if I'm going to walk away from anything, man, I couldn't be any prouder to walk away than being on the stage with Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Them guys are cool.
Yeah, definitely.
They're cool.
Well, Peter,
Superman.
We should turn it over to the people, because we got people waiting over an hour here
Lord.
to get through.
Here it comes.
So and you guys that are holding, when you get on the air, we got it. We're going to try to move this a little bit, because there's so many people, and obviously we don't have all the time in the world here. So we'll get to your question, and we'll hopefully be able to get you an answer, and we're going to keep rolling. So let's. Where else to start but in Queens, we got Gene checking in from Queens. Hey, Gene, you're finally, after an hour waiting. Thank you for being patient on the air with Peter Criss.
Yeah, hi, Eddie. How are you? Hi, Peter.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm Gene. I'm a cab driver in Queens, and my question is that I took my son to see you guys. I'm a big Kiss fan, and I'm 42 years old. My son turned 12 in 2000, and I took him for the farewell tour. I guess that was the last time you guys played together, right?
Well, as far
Basically,
as
the
original
whole
band,
Kiss.
Yeah, the original band, yeah.
Right. And last year and this year, I asked him if he wants to see the Kiss, but I told him it's not the original Kiss. He says no. He wants to see the original Kiss, and I was very disappointed that the original Kiss is not together anymore.
I'm with you.
So, and another question is, I heard from on Eddie Trunk's show, on your show, Eddie, that on a lot of albums that they didn't use Peter and Ace on the studio albums, and I was very disappointed. Why is that?
Well, we talked about that earlier, Gene, and thank you for the call. Obviously on Psycho Circus. Well, actually, we talked about that you didn't play on them, but what was the reason for it? You know, obviously you didn't play on Psycho Circus. There's also, it's fairly well known that on tracks on Dynasty and on all of Unmasked, Anton Fig played.
Absolutely right.
With Ace, there's countless recordings from as far back as Destroyer where songs he didn't play on. I know you can only speak for you in your own situation, but I imagine there's a variety of reasons depending upon what era you're talking about as to why you didn't play, right?
Right, absolutely. And most of the times I'm not going to play if my heart and my soul and everything, my whole being isn't into it. I'm just, you know, and many times when we got, so to say, I just did VH1, when Kiss Rules the World, we just did a big thing, and they asked me why would Dynasty. By Dynasty, I wanted out. I wasn't happy. I thought the band was going Vegas. You know, now we got purple, red, green, orange, blue. It had nothing to do with the silver and black, real kick-ass colors. Again, I said the word. But the band lost that double-edged sword, and that's what we're all about. And for me, if it ain't there, I ain't there.
Let's go to Keith, who is listening to us in Levittown. What's up, Keith? You're live on the air. Thanks for holding.
Peter Criss.
Hey.
Keith, pleasure to meet you, brother.
You too, man.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me get right to it. I totally understand everything down to the attitude of 76, 75, and 74. You guys walk those streets with such a honor, man. I mean, everything down to Jerry Nolan and everything like
God
that. I
bless
love
you
that
for
whole
saying that
era,
name.
man. And that is what KISS stands for.
Thank
Let me
you.
tell you something. Thank you. Thank you for giving what you gave to KISS.
God bless you, man.
You are an amazing impression on me, and I am a guitar player, and I freak out on your voice.
Oh, God
Thank
bless
you for
man.
just doing what you did. Don't take no crap. I love you, and I hope you are best in your ventures.
God bless you, too. And you stand tall where you stand, too,
Oh,
brother.
believe me, I'm going to stand very tall. Let me tell you,
Thank
you
you.
are the best, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so
Kiss
much.
should be Kiss, and they're not, and that's cool. You know the reasons why, and
Yep.
I know the reasons why. Some people don't, but you are well appreciated.
Thank you so much, man.
Keith, thanks for the call, and thanks for holding, and good luck to you as well. Let's talk to Peter, who's listening to us in Millburn, New Jersey. Hey, Peter, you're on with Peter Criss.
Peter and Eddie, thank you so much for taking this call. I just wanted to say, Peter, I agree 150% of what you have said about Gene and Paul. I couldn't agree more that it is all about money. I think they should absolutely stop this, shenanigans of doing this stuff. My younger brother and I, honestly, I'm 39 years old. My first name is Peter, so obviously you know who my favorite member is. And I just want to tell you, I have seen every tour since Kiss Alive 2, and I refuse to go this summer to see them. I will not waste my time. I will not waste my money to see them. I think it's a farce to have these other men in Kiss makeup. And I just wanted to tell you, Peter, I really wish you the best in everything. And like I said, you and Ace made this band, and I just miss you guys very much. But my quick question to you was really, of all the countries that you ever visited, what, in your opinion, was like the funnest or nicest country you ever went to?
I guess Japan. I really like Japan. I think they really... If New York was a country, I'd say New York. But New York isn't a country. And if Detroit was a country, I'd say Detroit. But I got to say Japan. I really like the Orient. I love it over there. They really appreciate us, and they've showed me that so many ways. They still do. They're really honorable people in a lot of honorable ways, and there's not many honorable people around anymore, especially in my business. And yeah, Japan. That would be my favorite place.
It's interesting, Peter, because just in the few phone calls we've taken so far, you can hear that the one thing about Kiss fans is they have the passion.
I love them. I love them, man.
It's definitely there.
They got my shirt, my pants, my underwear, and everything I own. I'll give it all to them, man. Absolutely.
Let's get one more call in here, at least at this point, and then we'll get a song on, or we'll probably have to take another commercial break here. Let's talk to. I'm going to see who's waiting the longest because these people have been holding on for so long. Wow. Looks like Paul in Lindenhurst has been waiting a long time. Hey, Paul, you're live with Peter Criss. How are you?
Peter Criss, can you feel the love tonight?
Oh, buddy.
Everyone is loving you.
I got goosebumps.
I hope you feel the love as much as Paul and Gene are feeling the dissent, the hatred towards them at the moment. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're doing to you. I hate it. I won't go to this tour. You won't catch me there. No way.
It's such a shame.
My question to you is this. I've heard over the years that with all the merchandise that Gene pushes out, you don't receive anything for that anymore. Is that true? I don't understand how they'd be able to use your face, with or without the makeup. I mean, people know the pictures of you. How could they use your face and, not pay you for that?
It's a legal thing. And I can't get into that because, again, I was just recently talking about it. You guys are so beautiful, but there's contracts in this business I'm in, and there's lawyers, which I love to shoot, take everyone out in the street and blow away. I don't like lawyers. Nothing against all you lawyers. It's just that I have a hard time with you guys. And sometimes lawyers get involved in everything and mess everything up and screw everything up, and things happen, man. I'm still I'm still a happy guy. I'm doing fine. But thank you for being so concerned.
Let's do a break here because we got to do some commercials. How much longer can you stay, Peter? You want to do one more round of calls?
Yeah,
Is that cool?
absolutely.
We'll take a few more calls.
My fans go.
Okay, cool. We'll take this break, and then if you have a question for Peter Criss, we'll come back with a few more calls and get another song in or so. 888-872-1043. We've been talking here for a while with Peter Criss, and it's been very, very enjoyable, interesting conversation, and unedited, unfiltered.
Wow. That's the beauty of your show, Ed.
Well, you could come on here and you could throw all sorts of softballs, I should say, and fluff pieces and everything, but that's not what we do, and I think it's great that you have to. It goes two ways, Peter. I can do my thing, but if the person on the other side of the microphone
there's a yin and yang. We know that.
Absolutely. So give yourself just as much credit here. We've got people now on the line here that have been waiting well over an hour to talk to you. So Peter's here with us for a few more minutes, and we want to get everybody in as much as we can. The toll-free line, if you want to try to get through, is 888-872-1043 or 212-869-1043. Anthony, who is in Mount Vernon, is one of those people waiting a long time. Thanks, Ant, for being patient. You are finally on with Peter Criss.
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Peter. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Anthony.
My question is, my original question was already answered. So, Peter, I wanted to know what episode of Oz were you in? Because I'm trying to find that and I can't.
Ooh, thank you. I'm glad you're looking. Let me see now. Wait, I'm going to get it written down here because I did 2 episodes.
Hello.
I was really excited about that. Visitation, right? Visitation Day was the first one, and the second one. You got it. The first one was Visitation Day, and then the second one followed right after it. And I really had a great time doing that. That was really exciting for me.
And they're
all
in
prison and get out the next night.
And they're all gradually coming out on DVD.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm sure eventually Peter's will be out if it's not already. I've only seen the first episode of that show the first season, and I loved it when I saw the season. But I got it on DVD, and I don't know, it's like 3 DVDs, and they're like 67.
Albums in and out of Kiss. I'm also a huge Kiss fan.
Good.
And I'm going to go see Kiss this summer, and a big complaint has always been the set lists. Why aren't they changing up the set list? Why aren't they making
that used to be my big
adding
complaint.
new songs to the set? Are there songs that you wanted to play that you didn't get to play? I mean, would you be playing Creatures of the Night and Unholy and things like that?
I didn't play Eric Carr, by the way. I couldn't have been any happier for a guy to sit in that seat when I left the band. I thought he was one of the best drummers I've ever heard, or they ever had, who played with them. So I wouldn't touch any of the work he did. But there was a lot of stuff I wish we would have did in the set. Like, I guess I'll toot my horn, but I wanted to do Hooligan. I wanted to do Shock Me and some of Ace's early stuff that he wrote that I sang, Strange Ways, and there's a lot of cool, Baby Driver, but I would get every night. It just doesn't seem to fit into the show. I get also a lot of fans like, why? You figure it out. They just didn't want to do our songs.
And I think the thing that's interesting, you talk about Eric Carr, who was a dear friend of mine, and
love him.
Anybody that met him couldn't have loved him.
Yep.
He was just, and you did meet him after he replaced you, right?
Came up to my daughter's christening, to my home, and he actually called me when he had to re-sing Beth, and he was all in tears and said, please forgive me, I don't want to do this, I don't want to touch the song, but they really want me to do this, so I got to sing it, and do you mind, and is it okay? I'm like, go ahead, look, Eric, do what you got to do, just do what you got to do.
I remember him telling me about that, and him also being, in just a horrible position, because, I mean, Eric was also one of the most, he was a guy that even when Kiss was at the height of their popularity with him in the band, he was so oblivious to any level of fame.
I know. He was so, that's what was so beautiful about him.
Yeah.
Really, that innocence, that beautiful innocence was...
He used to come out. I did a radio show in Jersey for years, and he used to come out, and he came out. I've got tapes of this, and it was just so great. And he would come out, and he, my mother's Italian, and Eric is Italian.
Right,
Eric's real name was Caravello or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And Eric came out. I'll never forget one day we were doing the interview, and I said, well, Eric, come out to my house in Jersey, then we'll go do the interview later on. And I said, he said, what time should I get there? And I said, well, I'm going to have dinner. My mom's cooking at like 6, and then we'll go leave at like 8 and do the interviews.
That's great.
Really? So Eric Carr came to my house, and this is like, when Kiss was doing really well with him, and had homemade pizza and potatoes and eggs. And
that's so great. I'll tell you, a fan we have out there, Fat Vinny, if you're out there, I love you. I took my mom and dad to his house, and his mother made brajol. We had lasagna. We had the feast of our life. And again, Vinny, send me some more lasagna. I need it. Absolutely.
Screw that Atkins thing, man.
Absolutely.
I'm so sick of that
Give me that lasagna, man.
I should be doing the Atkins, but I'm annoyed by it. I'm sick of everybody's got low carb this and that. Shut up already. Eat a dish of macaroni.
Give me that Big Hero sandwich with those sausages.
I'm in a deli today. They've got low carb Doritos now. I'm like, come on.
A few weeks ago, I got the urge. I told my wife, babe, I haven't had a potato with onions and peppers sandwich on a Hero in years. She goes out an hour later, she goes back with it like, oh, man, it was heaven.
Life's too short, right?
Oh, yeah.
Paul in Oxford, New Jersey. Paul, you're on with Peter Criss.
Peter, how are you this evening?
I'm terrific.
Listen, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Of all the Kiss albums that you did throughout the years, obviously my favorite was Out of Control, your solo album.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to ask you, what was your favorite album to do with the guys?
With the guys?
Yes.
I guess Destroyer, because it was a great learning experience. Working with the great Bob Ezrin was really an honor. He did The Wall with Pink Floyd. He did $1 Billion Babies, and we were still, we thought we knew it all, and we knew nothing. When we got with Bob, I learned so much more about music and drums and theory, and he helped me write a really big record. He really put a lot of work into Beth.
Right.
And so I have to pick that only because it was a great learning experience. I really came out a better musician than when I went in. So it's one of my favorites. Not just because Beth was on it. It was just a great album to do.
Peter Criss is with us here in the studio, and we have a few more minutes with him, and we have a few open lines right now. So if you want to jump in, 888-872-1043 or 212-869-1043. Let's talk to Mark, who's listening to us in Woodbridge, New Jersey. And Mark has a question about the infamous Tom Snyder Show interview. What's up? Oh, it's Mike. Mike, how are you?
It's Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Very good. I always wanted to know, what were the repercussions after that Tom Snyder interview you guys did in '79? And Paul and Gene didn't look too happy when you and Ace finally got your spotlight and you got to talk a little bit in the interview. What were the reactions of them two after that interview was done?
They were pissed off. They weren't too happy. God forbid Ace and I should take the limelight. You're absolutely right. I'm told that has to be the ultimate Kiss interview. I still get people telling me, man, the Tom Snyder thing ruled. We had such a great night, Ace and I, that night. It was so good that we could let it all out and let it all go and watch their faces through that whole interview. When I watch it, even till today, I fall on the floor hysterical. I think there was no repercussions. Ace and I would be like, okay, so you didn't like it, all right, gone. You know, we were out of there. We had a ball. I wish we could do more of those things. Those were the good times, buddy.
See, and that's the difference right there. Right there in your answer to that question is the difference in what is the difference from Kiss 1980 on versus Kiss 79 back.
Right.
It was an equal four-quarter power base where you guys did something like that, and it was like, well, that's what we wanted to do, so screw you, because you were just as much equal members of the band. You were the four guys, and you were enjoying your success, and you each had equal pull.
Yep.
Whereas now it's like, well, we'll cancel your contract. Back then, you were a part owner of the band.
Right.
So
does it seem to work better that way? I mean, you know, we all business is business, like we spoke about it. You know, contracts happen, lawyers screw up, they make bad moves. You lose this, you lose that. But you know, I wish what I'm getting. You know, anybody could wear the makeup. It's the heart behind the makeup. I think when you guys are out there and you're listening to Kiss records, you don't see what I look like. I mean, we're not in your living room sitting there next to you in makeup and having a beer with you. You know, your heart's feeling my voice. Your soul's feeling what I'm giving you. You're feeling what we're giving you, what the band gave you. You can't fake that. You can't replace that. It's called chemistry. You know, you put a little of Space Ace, you throw a little of the Cat Man, you put a little Jew guy from Queens, you put another crazy Jewish guy from Queens, and you're going to get the craziest band you ever had in your life. You're going to take some of that away and put some other guy's chemistry in. You're not going to get the same chemistry, and that's kind of what I'm talking about tonight. That we were really at a point where we stood for the guy in the back of the classroom who got made fun of, the kid who you know, no one wanted to talk to. Those are the fans that we really loved, and because I was the kid who used to get beat up because I lived in Brooklyn, and when I grew my hair long, I got my ass kicked every day catching a train to go down to the Village and learn how to play, or wanted to play with everybody who jammed in the parks down there, and you know, that seemed to have veered off somewhere into some place that our message of, like, you know, if you want it, you hang in there, you'll get it, your dreams will come true. It's not there no more for me, and I see it ain't there anymore for you guys, and I think that's what we stood for. We stood for the underdog, and I stand for the underdog.
But, you know, and you touched on something interesting there, too, and as a lifelong Kiss fan myself growing up with this band, and off air I told you about how I'm so associated with Kiss from the radio end because it's really was the band that was the catalyst for me to do what I do, because I was so tired of, and I'm going back to the 70s and when I was a little kid, but I was so tired of not hearing the band on the radio and not seeing good articles about them that I got into radio and journalism because I wanted to try to change that.
That's great.
And then it went on, but let me, this is something that I've always felt. My love of Kiss then and now has always been one thing first and foremost, and that's the records, the music.
The music.
I never was a guy, even when I was a kid. I mean, yeah, I had some posters, but I was never into the paraphernalia. I was never, sure, I had a shirt, you know, everybody's shirt or a poster, but I never dressed as Kiss. I probably couldn't pull that off. I'm 300 pounds. I wouldn't look good in tights, but you know what I'm saying? You know, we're being honest, right? But I never did that.
Brutally.
Come on, you know.
Oh, you're beautiful.
But you know, I never cared about the lunchbox or this or that. I cared, to me, what still is great then and is still great now is you put on a record like Destroyer and it was a chemistry and it's a great band. And that's one of the things that I miss about Kiss, beyond all the turmoil of the lineup changes and who's in, who's out. The other thing that is kind of overlooked is the fact that it's not a functioning band in the sense that there's not new music and there's not new records. It's it really is at this point a nostalgia act.
So I don't buy it's a new Kiss. That's what I'm saying. I don't buy the new Kiss.
Well, right, because it's purely the opposite. It's nostalgia.
Exactly.
And there's tons of money in nostalgia, so I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
But
nothing.
Call a spade is what I'm saying. It's a nostalgia show.
You know, it's funny. VH1 asked me, what did you think of the merchandise? And I said, I didn't really care. You know, it's nice to make some money. It's great to sell merch. I felt when we were putting out the merch, you know, the little dolls and the little sleeping bags and the lunch boxes, that was very cool. But always it was the music. It was always the message in the music of what we were giving the fans. You know, this is what, you know, Strutter, whatever, you know, Dress to Kill. All this stuff was, you know, tough, man. We were like selling the music. We weren't selling Barbie dolls.
Yeah,
we were selling caskets and Trojans. We were selling rock and roll.
Yeah. Rick, who's listening to us in Bayonne. Hey, Rick, you are on live with Peter Criss. What's up?
How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing good, man.
My question was, I want to know how you guys went about choosing the makeup characters you guys did. Man, you a big cat fan? Like, how did that go about evolving?
Well, I'm writing an autobiography, and a lot of it's in there, but it came about with, I'm not that I'm a big cat fan, but I'm pretty much like one. You know, I love to be, although now I'm a domestic cat, my alleyways are over, so I'm a lot more pettable. But, you know, there's a lot of my character that, you know, I can be incredibly vicious, and yet I can be very lovable. I find my temper can be wow, or it can be soothing, and I was one night just sketching, we were all the guys in the group are really good artists, and I was drawing all these crazy costumes that I wanted to do, and I had this big black alley cat, and I kept staring at this crazy animal, looking at its face, and I got this crazy notion to start drawing its face on my body and kind of contour with my face. Brought it into the guys and said, "What do you think of this?" And everyone, "Yeah, that's you, man, that's you." And until today, I guess I'm still a cat on the prowl.
Let's talk to Jim in Ramsey, New Jersey. Jim, you're on with Peter Criss.
Hey, Pete.
Hey.
Listen, I went to see you at Best Buy, and I brought my kids, and I really appreciated how you were treated, you know, how you treated them.
Oh, thank you.
When I brought them, they were 4 and 5. They were really, you know, like shocked to see you in the makeup, and, you know, it was really a great pleasure to meet you.
I love kids.
The Best Buy
I love kids,
the
man.
Best Buy thing was here in New York, the symphony thing,
right.
which
Right.
was just insane because I was hired to like pseudo host that, and then you got there and there was no stage, and they basically put you guys in the doorway, and people lined around the block, and they were like, they wanted me to make announcements, but there was no PA, so like, you know, yell
right.
3 city blocks down, and I remember you. This is funny too. Now that I remember this,
I forgot all about that. That's right.
I walked into Best Buy, and you know, the line is outside, and they get there. I got there about a half hour before you guys did, and I walked in and I said, "Well, where's the stage and the sound system and everything?" And I'm standing in the doorway to Best Buy, and they're like, "You're in it." And I said, "What?"
Yeah.
And then I remember there's this like little there's a Best Buy backdrop, and I remember the band comes in, and Peter, you walk right up to me and you go, "Ed, what's up? This is just insane. This is totally insane." And you stood behind the backdrop and talked to me.
Hey, but the 8 hours I waited with my kids was well worth it.
Oh,
It was
God
great to
bless
meet
you.
really.
God bless you, man. I'm glad your kids had a great time. I love kids. I really do. And again, I have a big surprise this summer for kids.
My
So
question is, Pete, when are you going to do the meet and greet that you were talking about?
we're working on it now, and I'm really excited about it because I think this one's going to be a lot different than the last one I did. I have a feeling either you guys are going to kill me or love me on the next one. But we're talking about it now, and probably this summer, preferably July.
All right, very cool. Well, and we'll let you know, of course, when we when you should give us the information. We'll
Thank
get it
you.
out for you.
Thanks,
No
Ed.
problem. That's
Thank you.
easy.
Thank you.
Let's talk to John, listening to us in the Bronx. What's up, John?
Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
I'm good. You're on with Peter Criss.
Peter, how you doing, brother?
Anybody from the Bronx is a friend of mine.
Listen, Pete, first of all, I wanted to say that I think you are the greatest, and I don't say that with like a starry-eyed type of attitude. The way you speak, you have God in your life, your wife, you seem happy, you turn your life around in so many ways, and I got to say, 2 thumbs up to you, brother.
You bring a tear to my eye, man.
My question is, and I hope you don't mind me asking this, but how come you returned for the Aerosmith tour, considering all the static that happened since Psycho Circus? I mean, I was glad to see you there, and I got the DVD, and I bought the DVD only really because you were there, but how come you came back for the symphony stuff and the Las Vegas and everything since last year?
I'll be straight with you. I have never played with a kid from Brooklyn. To play with 60 guys on one stage and allow me to drum with them was really a rush. I thought I didn't want to miss that. I was really excited about that. I wanted to be a part of that because it is a band that I started. I didn't want to, that was very exciting to me to go up there with 60 guys from Juilliard or wherever they were from. I'm self-taught, so I didn't want to pass that by. The next step of Aerosmith, I really believed Ace Frehley was going to be on that tour, and I found out later on after I signed my contracts at a Paul Stanley birthday party. I was told then, after 3 months of into contracts, and Ed again and I would touch it on contracts. You guys don't understand. You legally signed something. You just can't say, well, now I don't want to do it, because you get sued and you lose a lot. It's a lot of aggravation. Once my John Henry was on there, I was in it, and then I found out Ace was not going to be involved, and it was going to be an Aerosmith tour. once you're in the water, buddy, you got to swim. I looked at my wife and I said, what do I do? And she said, go out and play for the fans. If it's going to be the last time, then give your friggin' heart out to them. Play your heart out for them and go out every night and do it for them. And that's what I did it for.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you went out and you did that whole thing, and you were under the illusion it was going to be something else, and then you were contractually committed. But the thing I always find interesting, Peter, is that this is called the music business, and a lot of people forget what business means.
Yeah,
I find that so many times in talking to just listeners of the show or music fans. And you know what? I have the utmost respect for being that pure. I wish I could still be that pure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Where you just love your band and they're all wonderful and there's no contracts.
Right?
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
shakes and hugs and go, "Hey, come on, dude, let's do it." Gone. Those days are over.
Right.
They're
So
gone.
people don't know that the business angle is a very powerful part of music.
That's very good at the way you put that, the business.
I say it all the time on the show. It's called the music business.
Well, maybe that's why the boys call it the family business.
Yeah, right, exactly. Let's get a couple more calls here for Peter Criss, and then I'll let you get out of here. Marianne, who's listening to us in Woodbridge, New Jersey, you're on with Peter Criss.
Peter?
Marianne?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, I was trying to ask a question of Peter.
Yeah, go ahead. You're asking.
Thanks so much. Peter, I wanted to thank you for taking the call. I just wanted to first say that it's amazing to me how down-to-earth a person you seem to be after all your years of fame and success, and it's really pretty exciting to see somebody stay so humble after all this time and be so successful.
I have guys like you to keep me on my toes and keep me on my feet, and I got a great wife, and I have God.
Well, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. The question I wanted to ask was, I was wondering what your thoughts and feelings were about Kiss not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet.
Breaking my heart. I would give anything to be in the Rock Hall of Fame. I'm not going to lie to you or anybody. I don't lie. I would love to be in the Rock Hall of Fame, but I think Mr. Simmons keeps saying it doesn't matter. It really matters to me. I would really like to be in there. Maybe someday, Marianne. Who knows? Maybe someday.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is just me speaking, but I can say this. To me, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a complete and utter joke if it doesn't include a band like Kiss the first time that they are eligible for induction. And it's not just Kiss, it's Alice Cooper, it's Van Halen.
Oh, God,
the list goes on and on. Instead of inducting artists 3-4 times for every little project they did, nothing against the artists that are there, but it is, and again, Peter, I'm stressing again, this is not Peter saying this is me. I think it is the most clueless thing in the world when you have a band with the impact and influence of Kiss, who have now been eligible for the last few years and have not been in it. It is a joke. It doesn't exist to me. I have no regard for it until they wake up and start putting Black Sabbath, another one. You got to be kidding me.
Ringo Starr is not in the Hall of Fame. I found out recently. They have John Lennon separately, Paul McCartney separately, George Harris just went in, George Harrison just was in there, and Ringo's not in yet. Are you serious? I'm with you, Ed. Come on. Ringo? Jesus Christ.
This is a real hot button. This and the Grammys. The Grammys is another one. So clueless.
Don't stop me on that.
Let's nominate a live recording for just stupid, like out of touch. Give me a break. It's a real hot button thing with me, and the audience knows it, so I'm gonna relax a little bit. A couple more quick calls here for Peter Criss. Let's go to Mike. A lot of Jersey calls here. Mike in Saraville.
My home.
Yeah, well, me too.
My new home. Yeah, my new home.
What's up, Mike? You're on with Peter Criss.
Hey, Eddie Trunk. How you doing, man? You rule.
Thank you, man.
Love your show.
Me too.
Peter, how are you?
I'm having a ball. I'm with Ed, and he's one of my favorite guys.
Kiss meets the Phantom. Why did you ever do that?
You tell me.
Oh my God!
You think I don't think I did it. I don't remember.
VHS, and we still watch it, man. We still watch it. It's great.
You know, look, that was a really long time ago. We were really kids by then, and the great Bill Coyne had a great idea of merchandising us and putting on this great, crazy show. I really felt it was like Batman meets Robin. You know, I found myself wrestling with another guy that looks like me. You know, I don't think I would have. You know, could you imagine John Lennon getting bit by Dracula or Rod Stewart wrestling Frankenstein? But hey, you know, you do things in life, and later on, you kind of go, wow.
That's pretty funny. This is true. I just have the vision of that.
I thought about it the other night. I fell off the bed.
Oh man, let's just a couple more quick ones here. Let's talk to Dave, who's listening to us in Massapequa. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave.
I was calling to find out about the meet and greet that someone else mentioned earlier. But is that going to happen?
Yes.
When is that going to take place? Yeah. And also, it's funny that you're on today because today Howard Stern was bashing Kiss.
Oh, really?
Also for the same problem that Ace and Peter aren't in the band. They're charging $1,000 to go backstage and meet these imposters.
$1,000?
$1,000 for a backstage pass with imposters.
That's not cool.
And he says because Gene's been on Howard before, and he was calling Gene out. They tell him to come down and explain himself.
Well, I'm on Howard's side, I guess. Nothing against Howard, but I think he might have a point there.
Well, he's another guy who,
again, that breaks my heart. Here's a kid, or you guys who, God bless you, going to get up $1,000, holy mackerel, and then go back there with an album that Ace and I did and have Eric and Tommy sign. That's got to be a little disappointing, I think.
Yeah.
And disappointing.
We're talking about guys who tell it from the heart, and
they didn't get enough for performing, so they need another $1,000, so you go back and kiss their ass.
Yeah,
it ain't fair.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started because you know what? It's not even here. Here's something that's interesting, and I said this on the air very recently. The thing is that here's the one thing I will say. Kiss does these things like charging money for meet and greets, which, when I first heard about it, thought it was absolutely insane. Charging money for first row tickets, the first 10 rows, the first 20 rows, charging additional money for guaranteed seats. I come from a time where those seats went to the people who waited 3 days in line at the ticket booth and were the most loyal fans.
Absolutely.
And because I was that guy. Absolutely. I sat there with my sleeping bag and waited there because, that made a show. Instead of in those first few rows, you had the most psychotic fans in case, instead of a bunch of businessmen who had the money to pay for the gold or platinum package.
If you remember back in the day, I'm a Fillmore kid, and I used to get to the Fillmore knowing if the Who was going to be there or, the Doors, and I'd get my sleeping bag with Jerry Nolan, and we'd sleep out all night until the Fillmore opened up, and then you got the front row seats. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And here's the thing, though, and this is the thing again that I will say on the other end, though, Kiss does all this stuff. Gene and Paul do this stuff. Let's clarify.
Let's clarify that.
And they take the heat for it, but other bands end up doing it after they take the heat.
Very true.
Aerosmith is charging for backstage meet and greets.
Yes, they are. Yes,
and when Kiss did it, people were in an outrage, and now Aerosmith does. Now, Kiss probably charges the most.
I guess so. $1,000, yeah.
But the point being is that as crazy as some of these business concepts that they come up to, because that's what they are. They're marketing business concepts to make money.
Absolutely. And we talked about this in the whole earlier of the interview. What is it about?
Money.
Yeah, you see,
which I've said countless times on this show. So that's what it is, and I always talk, and we talked again. Peter and I talked about this off air. As fans, you guys have the most powerful votes. You vote with your wallet.
God, yes.
You can sit there. I've watched fans bitch and moan about this and that and this, and especially in Kiss where the fans are so passionate, and it's. I say to them, but did you buy it? Well, yeah. Well, what are you complaining about?
Right. You're right, Ed, and I'm glad you're saying it.
I'm going to tell you, Peter, one quick story here, and I know I don't want to keep you much longer, but I'm going to tell you one quick story. Ace did an event a few years ago in New Jersey that I hosted. It was his, not my birthday. It was his. Okay. He did a signing thing.
I remember something about that.
And he was very down and out about the whole Kiss situation, much like you are now.
Right.
And he went, and I will remember this till the day I die, and it just said so much to me about the fans, and not all of them, but a lot of them, and their loyalty, and somehow how they get clouded. I introduced Ace. He addressed the crowd. Somebody asked about Kiss, and he basically went off and blasted Gene. And as he blasted him for the next 5 minutes, the assembled throng of 500 fans, fists up, you're right, cheering him on, right? So he goes back to his booth, signs his autographs. Who walks in with a birthday cake to this event but Gene Simmons?
Oh, my God.
Pulls up the side door, walks through the room When I tell you these people flocked, the people that were just cheering his demise,
hugged him,
knocked people over to get to him.
Isn't that amazing?
And I sat there and I said, that's why Kiss can do what they can do. Yep. Because these people will do, but not all of the fans, but a lot of them, they know there's almost a psychotic, sick grip on them.
And I mentioned that on my site. I said, no matter what rain come shine, whatever will go on here, you'll still go and see them because you're that beautiful. You're that damn loyal that no matter what I may say or do or come and whatever I gave to the party and Ace gave to the party, you guys will still go see them. And I love you for that, in a sick, crazy way. That's why I love you, I lay in bed so many nights thinking about that. Like, they're still going to go. And they're so lucky. You, if you guys are out there listening to me, you guys are lucky. Man. I'm going to get a radio show and fix you guys.
You can come do this one anytime you want, man, really. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Oh, I have a ball every time I'm here. God, I got to come much, much more often.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to go or you got to go? It's late.
I guess we got to go, but I'll answer a couple more if you want.
Well, we got a commercial break, so it's up to you if you want to wait through the commercials.
Yeah,
you do?
Not? Yeah. You got me here. I'm having a ball.
Screw the music tonight. Let's just, this is good stuff, and we got to keep going. The lines are still jammed. 888-872-1043. We'll take a few more calls. Peter Criss wants to hang. We're going to hang. We'll do more with them right after this. Peter Criss is here, and we've said, you were going to go for the last, I was going to let you go for the last 45 minutes.
This is what happens.
This is what happens. We get talking. We get talking.
I got my cot coming up.
So we'll take a few more calls here because there are a lot of them here. Jerry, who's listening in Staten Island, has been waiting over an hour. Jerry, you're on finally with Peter Criss.
How you doing, Pete? I'm happy that you're doing good. I'm glad you're not with those two Shylocks anymore because they're running the band like they got two clones up there. They should call the concert Attack of the Clones.
Ain't nothing like being home. Nothing like being in New York, man.
Let me tell you something. All you guys, though, here's the thing. All you guys that are calling up saying this, in a few weeks, Gene and Paul are going to be sitting right where Peter is, I'm sure.
Yep.
Or on the phone, and, I want to hear the same people calling up and saying this to them. Because
I'll say it to them.
Okay, well, I'm not saying I want you to. I want you to say what you feel, but just be honest.
Yeah.
All right. You ain't putting words in your mouth there.
I got a couple of questions for you, Pete.
What do you got, man?
Go ahead, Jerry. You've been waiting over an hour. Let's go.
No, why don't you form a new supergroup with Ace? With Sebastian Bach on vocal and kick their ass. And, get back at Kiss.
He's got it all figured out. He's got the lineup. He's got everything.
It's not like I want to get even.
Wait, Jerry. Let him answer you first.
Okay.
Look, Jerry, I don't want to get even with them. It's not like I want to go in the ring and beat the hell out of them like a wrestling match. Ace is doing his own thing right now. I think he's probably a really happy guy where he is right now on his own, and I'm working on my new album, and I'm really excited about it. And hopefully you'll pick it up, and I'm finally really now living my life, as an artist. I am an artist. Always was, always will be. I'm a New York musician. I hate the word rock star. I don't use it. I don't consider myself one. I consider myself a musician, and that's what it's all about, brother. And to say, let me get a band and let me go get these guys. It's not what it's about. But you may have something there. I think maybe you should ask Ace if he comes on.
Yeah. I mean, but when you want to be back together with Ace, like you guys seem to be like buddies for a long time.
Ace and I are very close, and I would do anything for him. And if he ever called me and wanted to play with me, I'm there. So who knows? Hey, I'll never say never. So you never know.
Well, speaking of never say never, and in case you just tuned in, we've been talking with Peter Criss for the last 90 minutes or so and having some great conversation here. Let us now get to a question that I think is kind of interesting here. James in Hackensack, we're going to let him on because he's been holding to ask this very question. Go ahead, James.
Pete, now, would you ever consider, I don't want to, upset you, but would you ever consider going back with Kiss? Under any circumstances.
I would if Ace would. How do you like that one? Pretty heavy, huh? If the four of us sat in a room without all the BS, I mean, like we used to do, and it was really democratic that we had votes and everybody had a right to say this and that, I would think about it. I really would. I mean, if it was the four of us and it was like the real guys, we really
the real Kiss,
the real deal. I would think about it. Sure, I would. Absolutely, my heart will always be there. I can't say. The best of my years I gave to this band. Why wouldn't I do it again? I love you guys.
James, thanks for the call. Peter, I know that when Tommy first started subbing for Ace in the band, it was very important to Ace that he got a press release out and let people know that was not him. Mm-hmm. Now, the fans that are hardcore fans are going to know that because they follow every move the band makes every day. Mm-hmm. But his thing was more of what they're trying to do, the more the casual fan that doesn't know, like the kid I talked about at the pool in Vegas earlier that thought it was him. Mm-hmm. So he was very concerned that, I think his attitude was, I wash my hands of those guys, whatever, but I do want people to know that that's not me up there, even though they're going to dress somebody as me. Is that a concern of yours? Is that obviously doing this interview is going to get the word out to a lot of people, but is this something that you want to continue on? Is it something that's important to you to let people know through any media outlets that they can? Is it something that bothers you on that level as well?
Oh, it totally bothers me that there's somebody else in my makeup. Of course it does.
But to let people, you want to get the word out to people to let them know. In other words, you do realize that there are going to be maybe as much as 50% of an audience at these shows that they're going to do this summer that are going to be in the back in the lawn of these places, 10,000 people back there, and a guy takes his family, and let's face it. I mean, I'm 40 years. Good. I don't want to push it there yet. I'll be 40 in August.
You're a child.
I'm 39. I want to say 30 as long as I can. But people are older now that are Kiss fans that grew up with Kiss. The band's been around 30-plus years. Yeah. They're going to go. They're going to take their families. And maybe, these guys have jobs. They have other things. It's not all that, they don't keep up with the magazines and the gossip. They hear Kiss. They see the logo. They see the image. They go to the show, and they think they're seeing Ace and Peter, and it's Kiss, and they're back there on the lawn.
Right.
That's the angle I'm trying. I mean, is it important to you to get the word out to those people as well, to let them know, hey, I'm not in the band?
Well, now that, we've got the great computers and the great internet, and I have my own site, there's not a day won't go by that I don't put on my site, I'm not in the band anymore. It's not the real Catman. It's another guy up there in my makeup. If that's where we're going, is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, but do you have a plan to use other outlets to really, in other words, to not so much make this a crusade, but to really make sure you publicize it every chance you can that you're not out there so people know?
Absolutely. Of course.
Yeah.
Everything I do and breathe, I mean, that's part of, the cat is part of me, and to see him disrespected, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah, of course I will.
Let's talk to Fran, who's in South Plainfield. Fran, you're on with Peter Criss.
Hi, Peter. It's a pleasure to finally get to speak to you. You've been my idol since I was a child.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask, are you going to be going on tour when you release your album?
I'd like to. It's funny, we were just talking about that tonight, that I would love to actually go out and not necessarily maybe do like a year tour, and play everywhere in the world, but I may go out and do some dates, and it may not be like the Garden, of course. Look, I can't play the Garden without the guys. That I'm not going to lie about that. When I'm with them, we're better. When we're all together, we're better. When I'm on my own, I've been on my own before. It wasn't better, but it was good. Hopefully it'll be just as good. And hopefully I'll go out and have a damn good time, and I'll play from my heart, and I'll give you the best I got, and maybe you'll enjoy it, and you'll come and see me. Yeah, I plan on going out and playing, absolutely.
More calls from New Jersey. Rick in Parsippany. What's up, Rick?
Hey, Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I got my first Kiss album when I was 3 years old.
God bless you.
I saw you for the first time when I was 7 years old, and I've seen you 30, 40 times ever since.
Wow.
My question is, I know you think this version of Kiss is a sham, and I agree with you to a certain point, but in the 80s, do you think the 80s version of Kiss was a sham?
Yeah. Yeah, but I hate the 80s. Don't start me going on the 80s, man. Don't even get me going on the 80s with the hair bands, because that's about all it was. A lot of guys with a lot of hair looking pretty cool. Dude looks like a lady, I buy it. But you know what? Look, they had to keep... You got to play. I'm going to go back to, they're musicians like I am. They got to play. They got a performance in their blood, just like mine. They want to go on stage. They got to make a living too. They got kids. They got family. We look. Musicians got to play, man. This is how we all live, and this is how we all eat. I have bills too. So I didn't really think much about it, but I knew they had to still work. They had the name Kiss. They had to still keep going on and playing. Gene and Paul will always play, and I believe so will Ace and so will I. So did I care much about it? No. But, again, they still had to do what they had to do. But they wouldn't have done it if Ace and I didn't help them do it. There would be no 80s if there was no 70s.
Let's talk to Melissa. Again, another call from Jersey. Melissa, who's in Saraville.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
We're all good.
Good. I would like to know, what inspired you, Peter, to write Beth?
Oh, Lord. Okay, I didn't. It was actually called Beck. Give you a little history, a little history. I wrote it with a gentleman named Stan Penridge who passed on in '68. That song was written, and it was about a guy in a band whose wife was always calling us and breaking our chops for him to come home and not practice. And so we got together for literally a joke to write about his wife always calling and breaking up the band, like, I can't come home, we're looking for the sound. But it turned into something more serious as that band Chelsea I was in on Decca Records broke up. And before I know it, we kept doing it. And then it got dormant for quite a few years. I sang it one day to Gene in a car. He liked it. Next thing I know, when we got up to working with Bobby Ezrin, he loved it, and he turned it into a masterpiece. And the rest, I guess, is history.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because, again, it's such a weird thing of all the songs to be such a huge hit for Kiss.
Wow.
And a ballad with an orchestra with the drummer out front singing it.
Tell me if we know what's going on in this business.
Just when you think you got it figured out, right?
Yeah, man. I don't want to hear all that's a hit because I don't buy it anymore.
But I'll tell you what, man, and this is something that really is true, is that everybody knows you as the cat man and the great drummer and the going up on the riser and the things exploding and the whole thing. But you vocally brought so much to the table with Kiss, and you have such a quality to your voice that it's hard to imagine anybody else having sung a song like Beth with what you brought to that song in your voice.
Oh, thank you.
And you sang a lot. I mean, not a lot, but you had a couple songs on a lot, even
Every
from the
album.
beginning.
Absolutely. Had at least a song per album. Yeah.
And
thanks to Eddie Kramer. Eddie Kramer had a lot to do with that.
And you covered, I would think, a lot of the backing vocals in the early days as well.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. And it was and Ace didn't really sing much back in the day. And I was happy when he finally stepped up to bat, and then he got to sing, because his earlier songs he wrote, he gave me to sing, which I was honored.
Right. And speaking of that, as we start to wrap this up here, I want to play one of those songs because it's a great song from the second album, From Hotter Than Hell, Strange Ways.
Oh, man, I love that song.
Which is just a great song,
isn't it?
That Ace wrote, and you sing the hell out of it.
It's a great song. I forgot all about that song. That was a great song. I remember when Ace came in and said, "Hey, Cat, I got something really cool to play for you." Like, what do you got? "Oh, that's so strange." I said, "Oh, I gotta sing it, man." So I'm with you, man. Give me more of those Strange Ways. Absolutely.
Now, 30 years. This is 30 years old already, which is amazing to
that's
think.
Scary,
isn't it?
Maybe we are getting old.
Any recollection at all of recording this?
Oh, I remember recording it.
Yeah?
I was thrilled that I was doing an Ace Frehley song. I was really excited that Ace got a song in there, and it was really it was so off cuff, basically, for what we were kind of our sound. For my voice was so not pretty much straight on rock. I felt as Paul's was or Gene was. I felt I was a soul singer. I still am. I love R&B. You know that I love to sing R&B, and I remember doing it, and we all got a kick out of it. There was no bitter. There was no Everybody was really excited about it. It was a good thing.
Well,
good thing.
We're going to play that to let you get out of here. And again, as I keep saying, let you get out of here, and other things come to my mind that I want to ask you real quick. But one more thing. You touched on the fact that you are, and anyone that listened to your solo album in '78 or has listened to the music that you've done on your own knows that your roots and your love is music that is very different from what Kiss is known for. The bombast and the bombs and the power chords and the heaviness and the rock. So do you feel that it will be difficult for you to sell the kind of music that you want to make now as a solo artist to the Kiss fans? Because as much as they love you, they also love hard rock and roll.
Absolutely.
And you want to You said yourself be Sinatra. So it's a stretch.
I'll tell you something crazy, Ed. I don't care if it doesn't sell. I have to do it for me.
Absolutely.
As an artist,
right.
I need to do it for Peter Criss. Peter Criss needs to get this out of his system. I need to put music out right now that I'm digging. Right now, I'm digging Sinatra. I'm digging jazz. I've always dug jazz. I'm digging R&B again. I'm getting back to my good old James Brown R&B roots. So, you know, I said to Gigi, we were talking about it. Will I sell records? I don't know, but I don't care. You know, I'm so blessed. I have some money. So to me, it's more like if I put it out there and some fans buy it and go, "Wow, Peter put this out. And his heart's really into it, and I dig it." Some fans will go, "This is really tripe. What is he out of his mind? I don't want to buy it." I'm not looking for the money. I'm just looking at you maybe pick it up and go, man, he put a good effort. That was a damn good effort the guy put in for it.
Well,
I ain't looking for the bucks for my music.
Like everything you do and everything, you know, you've proven continually is you come from the heart.
Absolutely.
And that's what's in your heart, and that's what you do. And I think that even if fans, it's not the cup of tea for a hard rock fan.
It probably won't be.
And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I'm a hard rock fan, so I may not like it. But I respect the fact that you're doing it for pure reasons because it's what you love. And you're the worst thing to see would be Peter Criss come out and try to do some sort of rap metal album and be like Limp Bizkit.
I may freak you out and do it. I just may have something up my sleeve, man.
But you know what? If that's in your heart, then that's great.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
But if it's some fake calculated thing to cash in on a wave, then you see right through it.
And so will the fans.
Exactly.
So at least, you know, they go, if he's trying to sound like Frank, he doesn't. But he's giving it the best shot he's got. And it's coming from the heart. I don't think I could go wrong.
You know, man, we talked earlier in the show that Lenny Kravitz came up about what a Kiss fan he is and how he loves Hooligan, and you know, I keep going back to that would be such an amazing pairing because Lenny is a guy who's my age, you know, 39, 40, but he might as well be 70. You know,
yeah, really, yeah, he's amazing, yeah.
But he's a great writer and producer, and I mean, you know, being a Kiss fan, I mean, I could see like I got my wheels turning like a really cool thing, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, well, Lenny's a New Yorker, so if you're listening, Lenny, or wherever you're listening,
loving you, Lenny.
Absolutely. Well, Peter, I can't thank you enough, man. This has been
Eddie.
So much fun.
God bless you.
It's always fun. We get together on the air or off the air.
It really is. You know, Ed and I really got close over probably since Vegas. I guess we really clicked.
Yeah.
The night in Vegas when I finished, the two of us and our lovely ladies sat down and had a Coke and had a couple of laughs. And since then, man, I love them. And this has got to be the best station on New York City. And I'm not kissing anyone's whatever. This is the station to listen to.
Well,
and I thank you for having me. I really do. And you guys out there, I wish I could be here all night and answer your questions. And I'll never let you down. And you'll never hear a lie ever from me. So if you want to go on petercriss.net and email me and tell me your troubles, I'll listen.
Well, Peter, you know, again, and Gigi, thank you, because Gigi does so much stuff behind the scenes to make this stuff happen as well. So,
yes, she does.
Your lovely wife,
yes,
and the family's here. Your daughter is out outside.
My daughter's
there.
visiting from California, Jenny Lee.
Yeah.
And actually, I wrote a song for her when she was a baby. In Electric Ladyland, and I had a Goo Goo Gaga in on it, and I'm going to probably put that on the album, which will be a surprise, because I recorded it when she just was born. Took it down to ladies. She wouldn't do her cue, of course, so I pinched her. So she started screaming, but we got it. We got the sound, and I just fell on it. I just was looking through my archives, and I found my daughter's song, and she's like, "Dad, you know, I really want to hear my song," so I'm going to put it on there, and.
Well, Peter,
you know, and also I like my guy who runs my site, Jeff. I want to thank him. And,
absolutely.
And you know, he does a great job. And I just want to thank all you guys out there tonight for listening. God bless you all. Really, God bless you all.
Well, Peter, keep us posted. You know you got an open door here anytime.
You,
Please
Eddie.
come visit us again.
Thank you, buddy.
And
you got a beautiful baby.
Thanks.
You got a beautiful baby.
Yeah, we have some pictures.
Oh yeah, man.
I'll tell you what, we're both Jersey guys. One of these days, we'll light up the barbecue. And
you got a deal.
We'll get the wife and the kids together.
You got a deal, man. I like wearing my big barbecue hat.
That'll be good. We'll make that happen maybe this summer. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
I'm trying to buy a house. I have a condo now. I'm trying to buy a house. My God, the most stressful thing in the world is going through buying a house.
Oh, yeah.
Oil tanks, radon, home inspections. My head's spinning. Not to mention, real estate is like stupid expensive.
Tell me about it. You know, I'm glad I already got my place because you go out right. You're right. You go out now. It's like wow. You know, especially like where I am. near
South,
Spring Lake,
yeah.
South Jersey, whatever. The real estate there is ridiculous. I mean, it's really ridiculous. I mean, really like a lot of money to get something not really big. I'm like,
I'm buying now. You don't have to tell me. It's insane. It's insane. I have this vision of spending this obscene amount of money that I have no business spending, and then that movie, The Money Pit. Remember that movie? Yes. The whole thing just implodes.
Yeah, and it's true though, because we came off the tour. We were gone a year, about houses, and if you live in the ocean, your house takes a beating. And we have a cedar home, so we let it go. So you let one thing go, and you'll find us out with houses. Other things go, and other things go, and then other things go. So now, now it's like the deck. Now it's the house needs painting. Then the plumbing goes, then the bathroom breaks. Then there's a leak in the basement. Then the studio breaks. It's never ending. But you know what? It's better than living in 4 rooms where I grew up in Brooklyn. So I'm not going to knock it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and what we're going to do is, as everybody knows who listens to the show, we end every show with a ballad. It's the only one we play. So we're going to do, because we had a request for something from your 1978 solo album. So we'll do something for that as our closing ballad in about...
Would you play I Can't Stop the Rain?
Yeah, we're going to do that for you.
Excellent.
We're going to do that in about 35 minutes to wrap up the show.
And Sean Delaney wrote that, by the way, who passed on a year ago, I believe. A year ago, Sean passed on. And that would be great.
Cool. Well, we'll do that. We'll let you get out of here. And what we'll do now is we'll do something we haven't done much of, play a record.
No, we haven't, have you? You guys been waiting for music out there.
No, but it's, as I preach to people all the time, this show is the whole point of this is it's different every week, and sometimes we have no guests and we'll just play nothing but music, and it's I like talking. I talk. This is the half Italian side. I talk with my hands. I get crazy.
This is the best Friday night I've had, Eddie, in years. I swear to God, and all you guys in the studio, thank you. I mean, really, we've had a ball. And if you people out there were here, you wouldn't want to go home either. This is the coolest place to be, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Peter. We're going to play Strange Ways, and please stay in touch with us and come see us again soon.
God bless you.